Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
From home, honey.
Good morning, friends. Well, today is, what day is it today? Thursday. Boy, losing track of what day it is. Yeah, I actually couldn't even remember what month it was the other day. You know that you're busy when you don't remember what day or month it is. But I also don't know where I'm going this morning. It's just a confusing day. The reason I don't know where I'm going is that I'm meeting somebody to go on a pick. Their father sadly passed away, and they called me up and said that they have a bunch of collectibles that they want to sell. So I'm headed off following my map program right now to figure out where this place is and see if there's some treasures to buy, which is kind of the case most mornings. That's why I open at 11 a.m. If you're in this business and you have an antique shop or a collectibles store, it's nice to have a little, I mean, it's not like you're a doctor's office or you don't need to be open first thing in the morning. So for me, I open at 11. I'm not an essential service, and it gives me lots of time to go off and run errands and do stuff before work. So I start my day usually around 8 a.m. and by the time I get the doors open, I might have some fresh new stock with me. So let's go see if we can find some treasures today. My fingers are crossed that there's gonna be some cool stuff. We'll go see. Well, I am here. Nobody else is yet. I'm a little bit early, so I'm probably gonna hang out and wait. It's kind of a gray day today. And as I sit here right now, I'm grateful that I still am able to go out to these places and visit with people. Parts of the province, well, not our province, parts of Canada, I should say, are under a mandatory stay-at-home order. The pandemic, COVID is going around right now, so if you're watching this way after the fact, you'll be like, yeah, I remember that thing. So I have this air of uncertainty. Our store, our capacity was reduced. As of tomorrow, our capacity is reduced. Business is changing quite a bit, but you know, there's still people who are moving, there's still people who are selling stuff, and there's still people buying. So a business like mine can kind of carry on, but the challenge is, I don't know if my doors will be shuttered again for another couple months if things continue. So when I go to a place like this, I have to be careful not to kind of overspend or buy too much because it's very uncertain right now. That said, I still can't pass up a bargain, and I still can't pass up antiques. And eventually this will all pass and be over and done with, and I'll be happy that I found some cool stuff. So hopefully today is going to be another day that I can just press forward and find some fun things. Well, you know you're at an eccentric house when that's their doorbell. I don't even know what I push here to make it go. There's the eyes. Wah, wah. Didn't get to film inside, which is okay. I mean, turns out I did actually work with the fellow and he'd passed away, and I was dealing with things with the son, so out of respect, I wouldn't have wanted to film anyway. But I am going to show you some of the stuff that I got, and some of it kind of is close to home because he worked at the same TV station I did back in the 90s, and so I got a little bit of swag and some fun sort of t-shirts and things and collectibles. Anyway, I'll show you once I get back to the shop. I am back in my home surrounding the store, and look what I found. A couple of Coca-Cola signs, and they are in phenomenal condition. There is only one challenge. There's some stickers on them, but if you look closely, these aren't just any stickers. These are backstage passes or crew passes. Randy Travis, System of a Down, George Jones, Delirium, did a couple with them, I guess. Cirque du Soleil. So these are backstage passes that they've stuck on here. With a little effort, not only can I get the stickers off, I could probably just sell these as they are because they're crew and they're band related, so somebody would want that. It looks like that's even, I don't think that's autographed, but you never know. These generally are dated kind of near the bottom. You can see right there, yeah, there it is, 1951, made in Canada. And that one is, I think probably around 1960 or so. A little bit newer style, but Coca-Cola, always a popular collectible to sell. And when you find these store signs, they're very easy for me to sell, but they look fantastic in the shop like this because this store, well, heck, it's a general store. In fact, I even sell Coca-Cola and stuff just like they did 100 years ago in this very store. So when I put these up in the shop, they'll look right at home. Okay, with a little bit of gentle easing, I was able to get these stickers off. Well, I shouldn't say stickers, they're passes, they're fabric passes. George Strait, you never knew that one day the guy working next to you on the crew that day would end up sticking on a Coke sign, and then now it's here on YouTube. But there they are. Free of all the stickers. I just have to take a little bit of cleaner to get some of the residue off, but that is a beautiful looking sign, as is the 50s one next to it. That was a good score. This is what happened since last I had the camera turned on. Had a bunch of customers come through. One of my friends who's also an antique dealer came in, and I had my Coke signs out because I was getting them cleaned up, and he said, I gotta have those Coke signs. So guess what? The coolest things I thought I bought today sold. I also ended up selling a whole pile of oil cans. These are all going off to my buddy who is a collector of oil cans. I normally deal in oil cans and things like that as well, but they haven't been moving as often, mainly because I haven't been stocking too many of them. So I thought, clean it out, get it out the door, get it off to a new home. And the reason why everything is selling is because all the stuff I sold today is going to pay off what I had remaining on the paint job for the Jag. So came up with a creative solution for that. But if I look in the back of my car, where are they? Here they are. These are all the t-shirts and records and other things that I got today. So I'm going to bring this inside and show you what else came from my pick this morning. Now you might be asking yourself, Alex, why did you buy somebody's old clothing? Well, there are lots of people who buy old advertising t-shirts and sweatshirts and things like that, especially if they are from like this is from a TV station. Actually, that's when I was there around that time. I drove a van that had that same logo on the side of it. It was the coolest thing ever. I was in high school and I got to drive a news van around. I'm sure parents weren't happy to see a news van on site all the time. This might have been from the Tragically Hip, from maybe one of their concerts that they did. Pretty cool. There is t-shirts from a lighting company that used to be a stage and lighting company in town here. Look at that. Look at the great graphics on there. So this would have been a company that did lighting for concerts and things of that nature. It looks like it was designed back in 1974. That's definitely got the 70s sort of look, but it's like one of the members from Queen or, you know, so one of those early sort of hair bands is on stage and their eyes are stars and they're shooting lasers out at the stage. Cool graphic anyway. But there are people who buy these old shirts. Where is it from? Harvey Wood, size medium. It's a cool shirt. Anything that's a little bit older is going to be a little bit more scarce because who in their right mind normally keeps t-shirts like this? This is a little new. Return to Grace, Crew of a Lifetime 2016. I have to see, that must have been a tour with the band. Just opening up this other shirt here. What do we have? Harry Belafonte. Canadian Tour 1990. Well, Harry Belafonte, at least they had... let's see, what are the graphics? 1989 it was designed. Canadian logo. As if you're a big fan of Harry Belafonte, I might be able to sell this every day. Oh, on sale. Half price shirts. Better come and get them quick. Another early ITV sweater. You would have had to work there to get that. I remember seeing those things on display. Is this another of those lighting shirts? Raft Racers. St. Albert, 1981. So from a raft race, but anything that's got graphics on it is going to be kind of neat and interesting. Due date, keep pushing. In theaters, 11/5/2010. So if you work on a movie, you sometimes get a free shirt. This is from my Etsy, Stage and Film. So just some unusual things that you don't really get too often. Now, aside from all the shirts, this big pile of clothing, which I now have to worry about, as if I didn't have enough clothing to deal with in the last little while. This is a little nice, beautiful wooden box here. I mean, it's not in the greatest shape, but this is going to date back to probably about the 1800s or so. Look at the inlay. Beautifully done. And somebody has scratched their name in it. It would have had a little lock on there with a skeleton key. And this, in fact, is a writing desk. So that would fold all the way open. And you would carry this with you and you felt like you wanted to pen a letter. You keep your writing utensils in there. You latch it like so. And just kind of a cool piece. There would have been a little cover for here as well, so you could keep other sorts of things. But a nice little storage box. Nice little writing desk. It could be... the felt on it's obviously getting quite worn. But that said, still a nice piece, and there are many people who buy old boxes like this to do other things with. So when you see an old box like that, it's worth picking up because it could be repurposed for something else. Another sort of interesting piece that came in was this. It's not actually from 1750. Don't be fooled by what you see on the dial. That doesn't date it. A lot of people come in and they say, I've got a 1750 clock, and you get all excited and you see it's actually from the 50s or 60s. Which this is, but it is a saw blade style clock. I don't know if that's the official term, but that's kind of its nickname. To wind it, you push it up at the top, and then slowly, tick, 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 it goes like this. It goes up and down. I should probably say that. It's meant to go up and down like that. And it works its way down, and when it's at the very bottom, you need to wind it. You push it back up to the top. Now, this one needs a bit of repair. I ended up selling it for parts as a project to my friend who bought all these oil cans and everything else. Hopefully he can do something with it. But the really cool thing about it is it's got all this great black forest carved detail. This is all hand carved, this back plinth here. So a really neat piece when it's done. And I'd love to see this thing up and running again, but that'll be for a future customer on a future day. I haven't showed you guys the cool records that came in today too. While I was sitting here, haven't had a chance to sort the records yet. Everything else I bought today sold. So I bought it at just before opening at what, 9:30, 10:30 a.m. By the time I was finished the deal, get here at 11. And now by 1 in the afternoon, every single thing other than this little stack of records has sold. Just doesn't usually happen, but I had the stuff sitting on the counter. Some other antique dealers came in and they cleaned me out. That said, still have a bunch of records. And I'll show you which ones I picked out and why I thought they were cool. When it comes to records, sometimes it's subject matter. Sometimes it's the music. Or the graphics on it. Look at this great cover. Thunderball. Of course, early James Bond. There's Sean Connery. In all of his might, fighting off a scuba diver. He's at a disadvantage. He doesn't have a mask, and there's awful lot of air escaping. Mind you, it looks like he's got tanks, but he's not wearing his mask. Oh, I see. It's just come loose. Probably in the tussle. Tom Jones, of course, singing the songs on here. And some of the titles. Let's see. We've got Thunderball, the main song. Chateau Flight, the Spa, Switching the Body. I don't think that was a big hit. Number 6, Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Incidentally, if my daughter ever came home and she was dating a guy named Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, he would not be allowed to come back again. Not a great name for somebody, but neither were most of the names, especially the names for the ladies in most James Bond movies. I think you know what I'm talking about. Not ideal names for anybody. Let's see. 10 years after. I don't know if the poster's in here. No, doesn't look like I was lucky enough to get the poster with it. That would have been cool, though. Just some great, late 60s, early 70s. Let's see. This is Jethro Tull. Steve Goodman, I'm not overly familiar with, but looks like a jazz guitarist. I'll have to check and see what his music's like. Maybe I'll put it on here and listen to it a little later and see. Sometimes early 45 RPMs by obscure rock bands can be pretty good. Let's see. Lambros Tsiandros. Boy, I picked the hardest name to try and say right off the bat. This side, that side, Rock and Roll Part 3 and Into Your Heart. What was the band? Tower Bridge. Looks like there's a couple copies there, so probably a smaller release. Led Zeppelin. Of course, early Led Zeppelin albums are quite good, which this is. Let me just use my other hand here. Now, condition is everything, and this one is not in great shape. Oh, it's got a warp in it. I know a guy who uses clay and compresses it inside of an oven, and sometimes you can straighten that out, but what a shame. That's a Canadian release, first release of Led Zeppelin's second album. Well, maybe I'll find one that has a really bad cover and it's got a good album. Either way, this might be salvageable even though it's warped, and that happens from being exposed to heat or being left out in the sun. No way that's going to play right now though. But because it's a fairly good album, it might be worth spending a few bucks to see if I can get them to flatten it out. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not. Canned heat. Love the graphics on these. Janis Joplin. Cream. Of course, Eric Clapton's band. And there's probably their better known album. This is Derek and the Dominoes. Eric Clapton. It has Layla on it. Led Zeppelin 3, and Beatles Sgt. Pepper's. Now, they're not in the greatest shape, but when you're at somebody's house and they let you look through the record collection, you may as well go ahead and pick out what you think are the cool ones, which is what I did. I picked out the ones I thought were kind of nifty. Hopefully I'll go through and find the conditions okay. Didn't have to pay a whole lot for them, so it's very little risk. And besides, like I said, everything else sold already, so this is just bonus for the shop. End of the day, still haven't had a chance to put the records out, but look what came in. More sports cards, just when you think you're done. But so far, I found one good one in there. Really clean. I think it's an 82 Wayne Gretzky. What you're looking for are the condition of the corners, which are nice and crisp. The centering of the card, which is very decent. So you want to make sure that border is as close to the middle as possible. Those are all things that will make a card more valuable. And of course, that nobody wrote on the back or anything crazy to it. There are quite a variety of old, even going back to the early 70s cards in here. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of digging throughout the day today and see if there's any other gems. But so far, at least got one good one, which I got in a protective sleeve. You never know what's going to walk through. I know I've said that before, it's true. But check this out. That was a nice little bonus surprise. Can you tell what it is? Let me show you. It's a Mr. T wallet. You know, when you don't have enough gold chains to buy things with, you need a little wallet to carry around. So you got a Mr. T wallet and a Mr. T, I think this is a key ring. Yeah, it's for putting your keys on. So the complete Mr. T childhood vinyl set. And it is like this rubbery sort of vinyl that is really easy to destroy. It probably would have ripped after a few uses, but this one's in pretty good shape, really. It's really like new. Probably helps that it was in that plastic case for so long. And what is this? A&W root beer marble. Oh, actually, it's a bouncy ball. Wouldn't be very good marble. It's a bouncy ball. Oh, pretty cool. I always love finding little trinkets and treasures like that. So that's it. I'm home now. I'm going to go through some sports cards at the house and see if there's any treasures inside. That'll be a fun night for me. In the meantime, guys, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more episodes, and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.